This is Detective Russ Poole speaking. I'm present here with Detective B. Sid.
You have a stairway going down.
We're assigned Robbery Homicide Division.
To the left, there was a big cell for a man, and right across from him, there was another one. There was a hallway in front of the girl's cell, and there was another hallway to the left that had 3 cells in each side.
We're here to interview Ethan Cohan. He's assigned to Rampart Crash, is it? And we're here to interview him on the Ishmael Jimenez case, where he was a victim of a crime.
To the end of that hallway was where many people called hell. That was our torture chamber.
And before we get started on this, I'd like to you to introduce yourself, Ethan.
Okay. Ethan Cohan from Rampart Crash, serial number 30614.
Okay, today is Thursday, September 3rd.
We would tie a person down, or we would throw water on them. Take them, nude them, get them naked, throw water on them. And we would use a stick shock with them, the cattle shocker.
1998, the time now is 17:07 hours.
He confessed to it after I took him to hell and back. He told us of what he had done, how he did it, who was there.
Before I get started on the questioning, I will read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent.
Any person that is innocent, never give anything to the police.
If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
They will twist it around in order to make you look guilty. The best advice that I could give anyone is to not talk to the police if you're innocent.
You have the right to speak with an attorney and to have the attorney present during questioning. If you so desire and cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed for you without charge before questioning.
Now, if you're guilty as hell, help yourself.
Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Do you wish to give up the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Because the cops can help you instead of spending the rest of your life in prison. Maybe you only spend half of your life in prison.
Do you wish to give up the right to speak to an attorney and have him present during questioning?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how the deal is made. If you make it easy and you're guilty. That's the biggie. If you're innocent, now, I would never talk. If I was arrested right now for any crime, I would not say a word to the police.
Let's go back to February 26, 1998 in the late afternoon hours. There's an allegation that has been made that Ishmael Jimenez had been assaulted by a police officer at Rampart Division. What I want you, Ethan, is to, the best you can, articulate as detailed as you can on what happened that evening. If you remember dates and times, go ahead. If you don't, do your best to describe everything in detail until Mr. Jimenez was released.
This is going to be a tough decision for any young officer to make. And he's got a choice. On one end, he's got his sacred oath that he wants to follow. He wants to, and it just kills him when he doesn't follow that oath. It will kill him, it will finish him off if he breaks that oath. Then on the other hand, especially if that young officer has a family and kids, he's got his career sitting right in someone else's hands. And if you do not play along, then you're going to be punished, and that's going to be the end of your career. Okay, depending on how desperate the upper police management is to keep you silent.
I was contacted by Officer Lujan, who told me that, or asked me if I remembered about a guy that I had mentioned to him sometime prior, a week or a few weeks prior, that if he had seen him, my partner, I needed to talk to him. And if he saw him, we were working to get a hold of us.
Seeing who?
Jimenez. We had shown him, I think, a picture, and it said, if you see this guy, and we're working to get a hold of us, we need to talk to him, we got a question for him. He said, do you remember that guy? Well, he's upstairs. Brian, or Officer Hewitt's talking to him upstairs. I said, okay. I said, I don't think we need to talk to him. I didn't really remember. You know I told him, but I didn't remember exactly what it was about. But I went up there and...
Describe, like, in detail where you're walking up there.
I walked up to the second...
If you're going to talk about other officers, name them by name, last name, or whatever.
Okay, I walked upstairs to the second floor of Rampart Detectives. And Officer Hewitt told me, or pointed to one of the interview rooms and said that he was in there. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Who's he?
Jimenez. Okay. I looked into the room, saw that he was in there, and then came out and asked Hewitt if they were going to book him, I think, or what they were doing with him, and he told me, no, we're not booking him. And that I asked Officer Lujan, I said, okay, if you're not going to book him, then I'll just talk to him from here. And I asked if they were done with him. They said, yeah, we're all done with him then. Or Brian said, I'm done with him. Officer Hewitt said, I'm done with him. And I said, okay. So I went back into the room, and when I went into the room, he was, I noticed he was kind of red and hot. It was hot in the room. I asked him what the problem was, what was the matter, and he said he was hot and he was having trouble breathing. He was wearing, I remember, he was wearing like I think a sweatshirt and a thermal shirt. So he was sweating a little bit. So I took the handcuffs off, and then he said he was hot. I said, well, why don't you take your shirt off and cool down? And he told me that, I said, why are you having trouble breathing? What's the matter? He said, I'm just hot, I'm mad. And I told him, okay. And I'm trying to see what happened next. I took the handcuffs off, and then I got him a soda, or a glass of water, I don't remember which one it was, and gave him a drink, and told him to try and relax and see if he felt better. And I went down, got a drink. And actually, I can't remember if I took him to the room downstairs or if it was still in the upstairs interview room, because there's other interview rooms. Nonetheless, gave him a drink, and then came back and asked him. I said, well, why are you hot? What's the matter? Basically, he said, no, I'm just mad. I thought I was going to get booked. I said, well, did anything else happen? He said, no, nothing happened. I said, are you sure nothing else happened? That's it? And he said, yeah, there's nothing else that happened. And I said, okay. And well, what do you want to do? And he said, I said, you don't want us to take you home? You want us to take you to the hospital? And he said no, and continued to say, no, there's nothing the matter. I don't want to be seen with you here. I just want to get out of here. Just let me go from here. And he asked me again, am I getting booked? And I told him, no, you're not getting booked. So at that point, actually, no, I do remember I did take him to the room downstairs, because the rooms downstairs were
Crash room?
No, there's interview rooms the same as upstairs, but I remember that room was hot, and so I took him downstairs where the rooms were cooler. And again, he had the drink, the handcuffs were off, he was breathing fine at this point. There didn't seem to, the problems that he had initially, his face was still a little bit red, and other than that, I asked him again, nothing else happened, you're just mad, what's going on? No, nothing, I just want to get out of here. Are you sure? Yes. We asked him I asked him, you don't want to go to the hospital, you don't want anything, you don't want to take us back to your house? No, I just want to go. Okay, we let him go, and that was the end of it.
We took him to a secluded place, and we beat the crap out of him to find out where Pablo was. He wouldn't tell us, so we gave him, well, I wouldn't say we, the person in charge of the job gave him a shot of heroin to fix him up, because this guy was hurting bad. He needed a fix. And he got tortured pretty bad, and on the way to Chihuahua to hand him over to the Attorney General's office. They gave him another shot of heroin, but they overdosed him and killed him.
Actually, he was interviewed that night. He was interviewed the next day also.
Okay.
Okay, and let me read to you what he says. He says, at the Rampart Detective Division, Hewitt and Lujan took Jimenez and Hernandez to the second floor. You know Hernandez?
Yes. Or
Eduardo
Yes.
Hernandez. Have you ever arrested Eduardo Hernandez?
You know, I definitely know him. I've had a lot of conversations with him, and I don't recall if we arrested him or not.
Okay. But have you had contact with Mr. Hernandez before?
Yes.
Okay, so Hernandez knows you,
Yes.
and you know Hernandez.
Correct.
Okay. As they entered the lobby area of the second floor, Jimenez said something to Hernandez, and Hewitt asked Jimenez if someone had given him permission to talk. Jimenez responded that no one had. Hewitt told Jimenez, you mean you and me are going to have a private chit-chat? Hewitt placed Jimenez and Hernandez in separate interview rooms. Jimenez did not see Hernandez again that night. In approximately 1 to 2 minutes, Lujan came in and removed the plastic handcuffs from Jimenez and replaced them with regular handcuffs. Lujan told Jimenez to sit down, and then he left. Jimenez sat in a chair on the left-hand side of the room. 3 or 4 minutes later, Hewitt came in by himself and closed the door behind him. Hewitt told Jimenez to stand up and move to the corner. Jimenez moved towards the corner, and Hewitt said, you must not know who I am. It is like this. I am going to book you for your homie Hernandez because his mother made a complaint. You are going down for it. Jimenez said he did not know anything Hernandez's mother making a complaint. Hewitt said, I will take you for your car. Jimenez believed Hewitt was saying his vehicle was stolen. Jimenez repeated his vehicle was not stolen. Jimenez requested to use the telephone to contact his father to verify that the vehicle was not stolen. Hewitt said, no, I want a gun. It will only take me 10 minutes to book you. Jimenez said he was not going to say anything. Hewitt said, hey, hear me, I want a gun. Hewitt grabbed Jimenez on the neck with his left hand. Hewitt pushed Jimenez towards the wall, and the right side of Jimenez's head hit the wall. Hewitt said, you going to tell me? Jimenez responded that he was not going to say anything unless he talked with his father. Hewitt said, you are not fucking hearing me. I will book you for anything. Look at me when I'm talking to you. You had better tell me where there is a gun tonight. Hewitt said something else, but Jimenez did not remember what he said. Hewitt hit Jimenez 2 or 3 times on the chest, the upper torso, with a closed fist. Jimenez did not remember which hand Hewitt hit him with. Hewitt hit Jimenez 1 time on his left side just above the belt line. Hewitt said, get back on the fucking chair. Jimenez sat on the chair, and as Hewitt left, he said, all I want is a little gun. Jimenez felt hot and sweaty and was having trouble breathing properly. Hewitt came back, stepped in and looked at Jimenez, and then stepped out and closed the door. Jimenez threw up blood as he sat on the chair. An unknown male Caucasian with brown hair opened the door and came in. Jimenez told, obviously later on you were identified as that.
Well, I told them it was me when I found out that they didn't know who it was.
It says the unknown male Caucasian was later identified as Police Officer 2 Ethan Cohan, serial number 30614, Rampart Detective Division. Jimenez told Cohan he could not breathe. Cohan told Jimenez to relax and to try to breathe normally. Cohan left the room and came back. Jimenez told Cohan he had thrown up blood. Cohan walked over to Jimenez and observed the blood on the carpet and said, "Oh shit," and walked out. Cohan came back in the room and Jimenez asked if Cohan would take his handcuffs off. Cohan left the room again. When Cohan returned, he took Jimenez's handcuffs off and Jimenez took his sweater off. Cohan told Jimenez to relax, calm down, and try to breathe regularly. Cohan obtained a cup of water for Jimenez. Jimenez drank the water and tried to calm down. Cohan remarked that Jimenez was regaining his normal facial color. Jimenez asked Cohan if he was going to be booked, and Cohan told him he could leave at any time he wanted. Jimenez rested and then asked if he could leave. Cohan walked Jimenez downstairs and to the building parking lot. Jimenez did not see Hewitt or Lujan again that night. Jimenez did not remember seeing any other officers as he left the building. Jimenez did remember seeing a female Hispanic sitting at a desk, but did not know who it was. Jimenez believed he was released at approximately such and such hours. You know, and as he walked down the driveway and he's released, he threw up blood on the sidewalk again. And then he walked up around to the front of the station, he threw up blood again. And then he walked down Westlake to go back to get his car, and along the way he threw up some more times. Okay? By the time he gets back, other people are like saying, "You better get to the hospital." Okay? Obviously something happened in that room. Okay? You're a trained police officer. This is a guy that you've talked to before, and something happened in that room. Now, he consistently has told us that you went in and out of that room in between about 3 times and came back, and he showed you the blood on the rug. Okay. Now, maybe you want to add a little to your statement. Did you or did you not see that blood on that carpet?
No, I definitely didn't see it.
Okay. Let me ask you this. At any time, did you find out that Hewitt had assaulted Mr. Jimenez in that room that day?
In what period of time are we talking about?
I don't. At any time, did you find out that Hewitt had assaulted Mr. Jimenez while he was handcuffed in that interview room?
I found out that that Jimenez went to the hospital and that something did happen in the room. Whether, and I didn't get the details on it.
When did you find out?
I think it was the next day.
There's no secrets in the police department, none. It's just that sometimes you're not even allowed to speak about these hidden secrets, even from the rest of the police department. But you see supervisors they just have gone into this mode. They've got all the bars or they got the stripes and the bars and the stars, and we all know what they were in real life on the street, and we couldn't wait to get rid of them.
Okay. He's getting you guns. I mean, does he bring you guns, or does he tell you where the guns are at?
He's giving us information where there's guns, or who's moving the guns, or things of that nature.
Has he ever turned guns over to you? And
he's given cases with told us the location where they are and things of that nature. He's never brought guns, walked into the office with guns.
He's turned you on, or
yeah, he's turned us on to a lot of good.
I mean, locations where you
Right.
find a lot of guns, like how many guns at one particular time?
I'm trying to, I can't think exactly, but I mean, definitely good cases, and some of them were federal violations. There's a guy in federal prison right now.
So is ATF, are you guys actually making the arrest, or is ATF
No,
making
the
the arrest?
vast majority of them we make, but some of them, when it's federal filings, ATF.
And then how do you document that in your arrest reports as a confidential, reliable informant?
Right, yeah. So that was my big concern with this whole thing.
Okay. Did you work with Ray Perez?
As a partner or in the crash?
as a partner?
If, you know, I can't remember. I was trying to remember at the other interview, and if I did, it might have been once or twice when my partner wasn't working, but never as a
Okay,
regular
how
partner.
about in the unit? Did you guys do things together when you guys teamed up?
Occasionally, but you know, for the most part, my partner and I did a lot of stuff with other informants, and we tried to do most of our stuff by ourselves, only because we didn't really want anybody to know the people that we were dealing with were,
Okay.
unless it's, you know, tactical things.
You know, raising pretty serious trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything you could tell me about Perez that might help us in the investigation?
No.
Do you see any signs of any illegal or questionable activity out there?
You know, I really didn't. I got interviewed on him by Detective Vito and his partner, and you know, I really didn't. He, from the way I saw him, seemed like a real good officer, real knowledgeable, knew. I mean, he'd been in the unit longer than I have, and he knew the gangs real well. So, but in terms of criminal stuff, I really didn't see anything at all.
Since the upper administration will not fix it, you have to work around those people.
I didn't agree with a lot of most of the well, I didn't agree with most of the stuff they were doing. And if you're working over there, it's because you agree with it.
He made quite a few arrests. I mean, dope arrests. And have you ever participated in any of his search warrants or dope cases and assist him in recovering evidence or anything like that?
Yeah.
Do you ever see him take any money,
No. never.
steal any dope? Any of your informants? How many informants do you have?
We probably have 3 or 4 good ones.
Okay. Any of those informants ever say, hey, Perez, I've heard this about Perez or anything like that?
No, and you know, Ray, you know, the unit's kind of separate. Everybody works different gangs, so I didn't work the same gangs as he did, and vice versa. But I never saw anything. I can't say I was looking for it, but nothing ever jumped out at me either.
And what gangs did he work?
He worked Temple Street primarily,
And you worked?
18th Street.
Okay. Who else works 18th Street with you?
Officer Bart Brem.
Brim is your main partner?
Yeah.
How long has he been your partner?
Probably about a year and a half.
You still working, what are you working nights now?
No, well, we're working right now on this injunction, so we're trying to tie up some of the loose ends. So our hours have fluctuated, but recently we've been coming in during the day, just to, you know, find some.
Who was the main officer on the 18th Street injunction?
Us.
You and who else?
Me, Officer Brem, there's Officer Gira and Lassick, and Officer Messina and Gomez.
Did Hewitt have anything to do with it?
No, nothing at all.
I mean, in the past,
No, because he was out of the unit before I came in.
And I remember going to a nice hotel over on the beach shortly after I became the agent in charge. And mysteriously, a beautiful woman was sitting next to me, knew my name, offered me drinks, and told me that my bill was paid, and then offered to retire to her apartment. This was all very obvious. She was the mistress of the chief of intelligence.